Greetings, members. This is your man Benzen. I'm here with outside lights, an impromptu decision to quickly record and test this new setup I have. New laptop, new outside location, and testing whether my Linux sound system can handle input from this microphone, what the quality is like, and to try out this new software. So the reason why I want to get this recording out on a Sunday night is because, first of all, to thank all cryptocurrency members, especially those of you who have been with me and along the journey with me for the past 2-3 years, and also the generous amount of new members that Tone Vays granted me via the interview the other night. You know, Tone had kind of convinced me to make my service more public. I'd argued, Tone, you know what, I'm happy for it to be subscription only. I don't want a lot of inexperienced traders on there. I don't want to have the amount of calls and telegrams and tweets and emails that you have. I really need to focus on price, because I'm a trader and my subscribers depend on me, right? And we had the discussion back and forth for a few days, and eventually he said to me, look, do an interview. You don't have to take new members on your website, but if you do, see if it's worth your while, right? So this is all a new experience for me and for the existing cryptocurrency members, and for those of you who are new. Welcome. And just a brief video for me to try this out and for us to see what is useful here. This will probably be the first of a series of weekly videos I do. In future they will be live though. I would like to make them live so that cryptocurrency members can interact with me, and for us to kind of really drill down into questions and issues and get closer to expectations from price, the kind of probabilistic scenarios we look at, and to explore that. These weekly videos will be unlisted. In other words, they will not be public. I will present the link to you on cryptocurrency, and you can then join the live stream, and from there on we'll have a private discussion. Probably on a monthly basis I'll do a public video minus our indicators, minus our method, minus a lot of the critical insight, right, and the signaling, to discuss wider issues in Bitcoin, fundamentals, developments, lightning, trend, so forth. Let's see. I'm now going to use this software to get a different picture on price. Apparently doing this and then doing this should give us the website with today's analysis. This long-term trend line remains there as a challenge in the Bitstamp chart. Looking at the 15-minute chart, and this is OKCoin. Well, let's stick with OKCoin. It's pretty much the same, right? A little bit more messy because my annotations are on there. This is the equivalent trend line, the long-term trend line from 2015 October, and you can see that price, as we know, price jumped, fell below it, climbed back above, is now testing it again. As for this rising wave right here, I don't want to put my stake my reputation on it, because that's not the point of what we're doing. However, I do not think that this is the return of advance. this is a corrective wave to the upside. If we take a step back into the 1 hour chart, let me get rid of the annotations. In terms of the bigger picture, this is not a surging move to the upside or return to advance, right? As much as price had pushed above and come below and pushed above and come below the 1 hour 200 MA, it's simply doing it again, right? And as discussed in today's analysis, this 14,000 level is significant because we expect it to reach there, either reach there and reverse, or to reverse before it gets there. So let's see. We'll have to remain patient for that. Something I've not shown in analysis, I was wondering if I should do this for long-term analysis to be published next week. Looking at the larger chart, right, in log view, this correction up here pretty much resembles, let me just see something here. This correction here pretty much resembles this one, pretty much resembles this one. I mean, it looks like a large correction prior to a move up, right? But don't let the log chart fool you, right? Because it's easy, even if as I'm analyzing this day to day, it's easy to lose perspective. You think, oh well, it's returning to the 100 MA, the orange line, or perhaps the 200 MA, and then it's back to advance. But look in arithmetic scale. Look at the sheer size of this. I mean, that there. Let me make sure that I'm not choosing the wrong bump. I'll change to Bitstamp for more price history. Look at this little bump here, right? That is the 2013 rally to 1200, $1,200, and then a year's worth of decline, right? This here is not a flag or a pennant or a little correction before price continues higher. All of this from 5,000, there's 7,500. Everything that followed was parabolic mania, right? And we're still living with the consequences. We're going to have to deal with the consequences of that. And price is not just going to bounce and continue this kind of mania. This took a long time to set up. After such a manic price move, there is usually a protracted decline. And I'm thinking 3 to 6 months before we see another move up, if not longer. There's no telling right now, but I think a look at for instance, this is 1 day, right? Look what the MACD is just plummeting. I mean, it's just plummeting. It had not been below its zero line for years, right? That's not a small matter. In other words, there's going to be a correction to this swing here. It's like a car that takes a turn too wide, right? It's gonna come down, come back up. Price is gonna do this, maybe come back to this kind of region, the 18,000 level, and then it's down again. It's not just a matter of it's gonna swing up and do another $30,000 move. That is unprecedented. As much as this move, as much as most of 2017 is unprecedented in the history of markets, this is the largest correction in market price charts in the history of the world. That is $10,000 from there to there, Why? Because everyone who had bought in had bought. Are they suddenly all going to buy in again? In a manic fear of missing out? No, I don't believe they will. I believe we've seen a major top and it's going to take some time. The moving averages and the indicators say as much. All right. So as for the current move. I'm going to look at it real close in the 5-minute chart. We've had 5 waves down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Most likely this is a correction, and then another 5 waves down. If this is an A, B, right? A, B, C, A, B, C, then we could get prices higher. I wouldn't be surprised at 14,000, but there's not enough confidence to make a bet or to put money on that move. Right, so this chart, let me just return to my light and my my strange face. Right, so in terms of trading, we need to wait for the 4-hour chart to turn bullish before we can trade any 1-hour move. At this stage, it would have been worth trading to the upside, right? But we had not yet seen enough decline. By now, one can argue, yes, we've seen enough decline, and this is a return to advance. You see the 20 MA is curling up, the 50 MA is curling up, the MAs are kind of pulling out of their dives, but we need to see price above this 200 MA with a 4-hour signal before we can believe in advance. I don't think we're going to see that soon, right? Whether I'm right or wrong is not important. The important fact now is there's no reason to trade to the upside right now. We don't have any prerogative, we do not have any signal to do that. So that is just my brief overview. I will do a weekly analysis with some scenarios, not a weekly, a long-term analysis with some scenarios and some key levels, and publish it during the week. Thank you for all of you who are watching and have come this far in the video, which is totally experimental, new software, new location, impromptu. I need to start somewhere, so I said rather than do lots of tests, let me just put this up, record this, put it up and get some feedback. So feedback is welcome. I'd say reserve your questions for the website or for private messaging. If you want your communications to be private, the website is not, Google and search engines are not able to come into cryptocurrency. I've put that definition in the robots file in the site index, so they don't search the site for your mail content or for the analysis that's being published there, and then somebody searches in the internet and sees that. No, it's private and anonymous in that sense, which is very important in Bitcoin. You should always think about that. I might put up an advisory about good operational security when it comes to your privacy and anonymity. Right, so this is what it is, the first of many. Thank you for sticking with me for this far, and once again, welcome to new members. Thank you, and heartfelt thanks to existing members. Thanks for your support all these years. I will, at some point in the future, actually outline for you where your contributions had gone and who had been helped by them. You would be surprised.